And when our chairman comes back in, we will boo him, so that way he doesn't get too excited. I'm pretty sure they put our dignitaries in Tucson, Arizona, and they're making their way here. I'm not quite sure how much further I can delay, and hopefully we're going to see somebody here outside of this door here just a little bit. Dad Bone, I'm trying to stretch this as much as I can. It's just as miserable for me as it is for all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, now your Grand Secretary of DeMolay International, Dad Stephen E. Crane of Kansas, and your Grand Treasurer, Dad Gregory A. Childs of Indiana. Both are past Grand Masters of our beloved order. Told me they were waiting on the service at the restaurant. That's what took them a little while. So thank you for joining us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Grand Senior Counselor Jeffrey A. Brunson of the state of Washington and Grand Junior Counselor Bill Gordon of the host jurisdiction of Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your 57th International Congress Secretary, Brother River Peatman from the jurisdiction of British Columbia, Canada.
Get away from it. They give me loyalty and I don't gotta pay for it. Same way bread's gotta break for it. Keeping people fed is my only peace of mind now. And I turn a 6 upside down, it's a 9 now. I made a decision last night that I would die for it.
I think you can get a little louder than that. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your 57th International Master Council.
But when you and I just got through talking about what you're trying to do, just not new. Now everybody got the game figured out all wrong. I guess you never know what you got till it's gone. I guess that's why I'm here and I can't come back home. And guess when I heard that, when I was back home. Every interview I'm representing you, making you proud. Reach for the stars, so if you fall you land on a cloud. Jump in the crowd, spark your lighters, wave them around. If you don't know by now, I'm talking about Chi-Town.
Do you think about me now and then? Do you think about me now and then? 'Cause I'm coming home again. Baby, do you remember when fireworks are making the shaking? Now I'm coming home again. Baby, do you remember when?
Brothers, ladies, distinguished guests, we are pleased to have joining with us our distinguished Grand Masters from visiting international Supreme Councils. We welcome the Grand Master of Brazil, Brother Leandro Temproni. Master of the Philippines, Brother Raymond Mendoza. Would all of these Grand Masters and past Grand Masters of Freemasonry in attendance this evening please rise and be recognized at this time. Most worshipful and right worshipful sirs, your continued dedication to the values we share, leadership, integrity, and service, has played a vital role in shaping DeMolay into the strong and incredible organization it is today. On behalf of DeMolay International, we extend our deepest gratitude for your unwavering support. Thank you. It is now a pleasure of mine to introduce to you and bring to the podium for a few remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. And allow me to introduce to you and through you Most Worshipful Brother Michael A. Dale, Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the state of Arizona.
International Grand Master Dad Peters, over here. International Master Counselor Ryan, distinguished guest, and DeMolay family. It is a great honor to bring greetings on behalf of the nearly 5,800 Arizona Masons and to share how familial bonds are forged between Free and Accepted Masons and DeMolay International from my personal perspective. A little bit off script here. I am not an Arizona native. It is not my fault that the heat is here, but stick around another month and it will get hotter. I was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. Notice how I said that. That is the actual pronunciation. It got corrected somewhere over the years by an English teacher, It's a Choctaw word that means rolling meadows. I remember as a child going to this large building near the family home every Friday. I asked my father what that thing was on the side of the building, and he had no idea. I had no idea that this was a Masonic lodge. My dad just knew that the fish fry was good and inexpensive. I have no Masonic ties in my immediate family, but that would definitely change later on in my life. Many years later, I was an active duty Marine at the tip of the spear on a ship out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean aboard the USS Essex. I was doing my duty to protect this great nation. While I was deployed, my daughters had joined a girls' organization that was sponsored by the local Masonic lodge, the International Order of Rainbow for Girls. Because of them, when I was home from deployment, I was in that Masonic lodge 4 to 5 days a week. Countless hours were spent assisting the girls, the ladies of the Order of the Eastern Star, and the men of that Masonic lodge. These men treated me as if I was one of their own, like we had known each other for years. Being an active duty Marine and many of the men being retired from various military organizations helped to strengthen the bonds and form lasting relationships. In addition to these organizations, I also began to assist the DeMolay chapter in the lodge. A friend of mine was a senior DeMolay, and he had 2 sons. I now had another reason to go to the lodge, to assist this DeMolay chapter. I watched as these young boys grew into young men. I enjoyed helping the young men and hopefully helping to shape their futures. I learned all that I could about Masons. I assisted these men in any way I possibly could, cleaning the lodge, helping to cook dinners, made for some great conversations with these men. I didn't really know what a Mason was at the time, but I sure found out. It took me 3 years to be made a Mason, because back then in the olden times, you had to ask 3 times. In 1997, I was initiated, passed, and raised in Yuma Territorial Lodge number 17. There's not a particular Mason who made an impact on me, but rather many Masons I have met over the years. The brothers I have met have helped me grow into the Mason you see before you. I am now a member of the largest fraternal organization in the world, and for that, I am truly blessed. Always keep in mind that DeMolay and the Masonic fraternity are not 2 separate families, but rather one large Masonic family working together to grow and prosper. Without the growth of DeMolay in Arizona and around the world, this great fraternal family would not grow. You have the power to influence future generations of this Masonic family. Your current Masonic knowledge will grow, and as it grows, you will be able to influence many other young men along the path to a Masonic family. My message to you is there is life after DeMolay. I am sure there is a Masonic lodge near your home. The principles you learn in DeMolay are timeless. Continue the path that you've established for yourself and join a Masonic lodge. Continue to forge and strengthen the bonds you have created here and with the many Masons who have helped this great organization. As Grand Master of Masons in Arizona, I pledge my undying support for DeMolay around the world. Thank you for inviting me here tonight. I wish you all the best as you continue your Masonic journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to call upon our International Congress officers to welcome into the room the 57th International Congress delegates and their executive officers.
Alabama DeMolay, Executive Officer J. Wesley Hyde, Congress delegates Chase Clark and Dale LeGros.
DeMolay, Arizona, their personal representatives Steve Johnson, their Congress delegates Alexander Lowry and Joel Eber.
For DeMolay in Arkansas, Executive Officer Mike Russian and Congress delegates Ash Heath and Paul Hackney II.
DeMolay, Bolivia, the Executive Officer Antonio Pachillo Mendez, the Congress delegates Sai Mateo Vargas Branez and Diego Vega.
From DeMolay, Brazil, we have Rafael Texiera, National Master Counselor, Vitor Arujo, Deputy National Master Counselor, and Hendrix Ball, Deputy State Master Counselor of Piaui.
And from DeMolay, Canada, Sam Kemplay, the National Master Counselor, Reggie Ferron, the Provincial Master Counselor of Ontario, Grayson McAllister, the Provincial Master Counselor of Alberta, and the Deputy Provincial Master Counselor of Alberta, Caleb D'Annunzio.
DeMolay in Colorado, Executive Officer Michael Foster and Congress delegates Thomas Goodwin and Jackson Goodwin.
DeMolay, Connecticut, the Executive Officer Brian Beals and our Congress delegates Matthew Sprouse and Christian Lozada.
From DeMolay in Delaware, Executive Officer David Penny.
From DeMolay, Ecuador, the Executive Officer Polo Alberto Almeida Murillo and the Congress delegate Francisco Robolito.
From Florida, DeMolay, Executive Officer Jody McGuire and Congress delegates Nicholas Ramdeen and Jacob Ziegler.
From DeMolay, Georgia, the Executive Officer Mark Griffiths and the Congress delegates Nicholas Brown and Benjamin Geddes.
From DeMolay, Illinois, Executive Officer Dale Goodpaster and Congress delegates Jay Sanders and Benjamin Mayberry.
All right, I know these guys though. We're good. From DeMolay, Indiana, we have Executive Officer Dad Vermeulen, the State Master Counselor Owen Vermeulen. There we go. Then we're getting there. We're getting there. And Devin Alderman.
All right, and from DeMolay in Iowa, Executive Officer Robert Myers and Congress delegates Seamus Roach and Alexander Harshbarger.
From DeMolay, Italy, we have over there. Oh, here we go. Okay, DeMolay, Kansas first. Our Executive Officer Mark McLean, and our Congress delegates Vaughn Finkenbinder and Eli West.
And from DeMolay In DeMolay in New Hampshire, Executive Officer Arthur W. Stoff and Congress delegates Connor Cook and Laszlo Cloutier.
From DeMolay, New Jersey, the Executive Officer Paul Mossberg and our Congress delegates Cameron Busico and William Revesz.
DeMolay in New Mexico, Personal Representative Eric N. Moses and our Congress delegates Drake Bennett and Grant Wiles.
From the great state of New York, the Executive Officer Peter Brousseau and our Congress delegates Gavin Johnson and Tristan Schulbaum.
From DeMolay in North Carolina, we have Executive Officer Matthew Hunt and our Congress delegates Matthew Schnabelin and Anthony Barilli.
From DeMolay, North Dakota, we have our Congress delegates Colby Belsner and Michael Norman.
From DeMolay in Northern California and Hawaii, our Executive Officer Terry L. Lewis and our Congress delegates Nick Bonin and Peter Thompson.
From the jurisdiction of Oklahoma and Louisiana, the Executive Officer Brad Northcutt and our Congress delegates Jacob Lyon, Chris Eckerd, and Tony Reyes.
Legaretta and Bjorn Johnson.
Paro and Julio Darte.
And Kenton Green.
DeMolay, Philippines, Fred Anastasio, Marco Echeverria, Andre Lugud, and Adrian Manalulu.
From DeMolay in Rhode Island, we have Personal Representative James Ogilvie and our Congress delegates Wyatt Kemp and Jared Kemp.
From DeMolay, Romania, our Executive Officer Bogdan Minia Matash and our Congress delegates Istati and Andre and Kuopar Theodore.
And DeMolay, Serbia, our Congress delegate Alexander Efirkin.
Let's go, Alex. Let's go. Let's go, Alex. Let's go. Woo! From DeMolay, South Carolina, we have our Executive Officer, Clifton Simmons. Woo!
From DeMolay in South Dakota, we have our Executive Officer, David Wheeler.
DeMolay, in the jurisdiction of Southern California, our Executive Officer, Dad Donald Peterson, and our Congress delegates, Brother Jody Williams and Connor Besner. Woo! Let's go, David.
And from the DeMolay in Tennessee, Executive Officer John W. Whitaker, and our Congress delegates Nathan Curlin and Andrew Lawrence.
Woo! DeMolay, Texas, the executive officer, Tommy Chapman, and the Congress delegates, Kyle Villanueva and Peter Luke.
From DeMolay in Utah, executive officer Stephen Lancaster.
From DeMolay in Vermont, our executive officer, William Karstens.
From DeMolay in Virginia, executive officer Richard Young, and our Congress delegates Jesse Banks and Brady Shreves.
From the jurisdiction of Washington, our personal representative, Paul Jacobson, and our Congress delegates Cole Hurst and Gregory Thompson.
From the jurisdiction of West Virginia, executive officer Michael Burge, and Congress delegates Donald Pritcher and Robert Gross.
From the jurisdiction of Wisconsin, the executive officer, Sean Vollmer, and the Congress delegates, Jacob Dewey Tennyson and Giorgio Fuentes.
And from DeMolay in Wyoming, executive officer Bradley Newmiller, and our Congress delegate, Jerome Newmiller.
You know, I was off stage the whole time. We got to give kudos to not only these two guys, but we got a whole crew back here. We got tour guides making sure everybody's in the right order. We almost did it 100%, but how about another round of applause for everybody behind the scenes? Nice job, fellas. Now that we finally have everybody in the room, before we officially get started, I would like to invite you all to join me in pledging allegiance to the flag of our United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everyone would please stay standing, I would like to now call upon our Grand Chaplain, Brother Michael Burge, to offer an invocation. We picked the most difficult seat for him to be with the other executive officers. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Chaplain of the International Supreme Council, Dad Michael Burge.
Let us pray. Almighty and merciful God, your presence has guided us here to this place. And as we now assemble together, it is fitting that we begin with a word of prayer and thanksgiving. Our journeys to Phoenix have been traveled on smooth roads and turbulent skies. They have led us to recall fond memories of loved ones and colleagues gone, as well as the exciting thoughts of new friendships to be made. For some, the sights around us are familiar, and for many, the scenes are brand new. But in and through them all, O Lord, you have been with us, and the journey is not made alone. For your holy presence, we give to you our thanks and our praise. As we gather to conduct the annual business of the International Supreme Council and the International DeMolay Congress, we know that your presence remains with us, and so we seek your blessing upon those who lead us. We seek your guidance and wisdom as we listen, learn, and make decisions. We seek your grace and mercy in the midst of our own ignorance and complacency. We seek your love and peace as we later leave this place, returning home to continue that work which Dadland began over a century ago. Dadland's work must go on. DeMolay must go on. Equip us with every good and perfect. Prosper us for the sake of all you. And remind us always of your ever-present spirit. We seek you, Lord. With this, may it be so.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may now be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now a personal pleasure to present to the podium for some incredible remarks, and let's make some incredible noise and make our appreciation known for your Grand Master. Ladies and gentlemen, that Terry Cooper.
So it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 103rd Annual Communications Session of the International Supreme Council and the 57th International DeMolay Congress. I would like to start by thanking our host jurisdiction, Arizona, for your warm, or should I say hot, hospitality. My sincere hope is that you will enjoy your time with us this evening. Most worshipful Michael Dope. The Arizona Grand is a spectacular resort, and I encourage you all to take advantage of all that it has to offer over the weekend. I would also like to thank our Supreme Council, the Congress delegates, the DeMolay Foundation, the Board of Directors, and parents and advisors for the time you spend to mentor, encourage, and support our young men in DeMolay. I would encourage you to speak with the Congress delegates this weekend, and if your schedule permits, check out the Congress sessions. They are the DeMolay's future in our world. You will be impressed by what you see. Can I get a round of applause for our Congress delegates and our visiting DeMolay? If I can now call up the International Master Counselor for his remarks.
There we go, my fault. DeMolay International supporters, distinguished guests in the East, family, friends, and most importantly, my brothers, good evening. I hope everyone so far is having a phenomenal start to our Congress session here in Phoenix. I would like to first point out, please wear sunscreen. As funny as it would be to see you guys all super red-faced in the Congress sessions, I'd prefer you guys take care of yourself. But please have fun this weekend. Please try to meet as many DeMolays that you might not know. This is the perfect event for this. Foster those relationships between jurisdictions, reach out to guys across regions, and try to make a new friend or as many as you can. This is DeMolay, and we are brothers without borders, and this is DeMolay International, so thank you.
Thank you, Brother International Master Counselor. I now attend the gavel to our Master of Ceremonies to introduce our distinguished guests.
Brethren, tonight we are truly fortunate to have with us several distinguished members of the International Supreme Council. These esteemed brothers have dedicated a lifetime of service to our noble order, leaving an enduring legacy that has shaped DeMolay International into a strong fraternity it is today. Would all past Grand Masters of DeMolay International, past Grand Treasurers of DeMolay International, and past Grand Secretaries of DeMolay International please stand and be recognized at this time. My brothers, on behalf of all of DeMolay International, we thank you for your continued dedication to the youth movement that is DeMolay. I will now ask our Congress officers to come and join me at the podium, and they can recognize our next group of dignitaries.
All right, would the past International Master Counselors in attendance please stand and be recognized? Woo!
Let's see if you'll say more. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6. We got 6. Would the past International Congress Secretaries please stand to be recognized? Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. 7. Yeah. All right. I want to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to all of our past Congress officers. Your dedication and hard work throughout your teams have played a vital role in shaping DeMolay. Whether you served as International Master Counselor or International Congress Secretary, your leadership, guidance, and countless hours of service have nurtured the growth to our brothers and strengthened our entire organization. Thank you for your commitment to DeMolay International and ensuring it continues to thrive. This is a surprise to me. On behalf of DeMolay International, Ryan and I would like to thank everyone for their support to launch our DeMolay Mental Health Matters campaign. With your support, we were able to highlight the importance of positive mental health for young and older men around our entire world. Our social media campaign reached thousands of people to offer valuable resources. We were able to team up with a powerful organization of Movember, who will continue to provide many services for many years to come. Did they do this?
What's up, DeMolay? My name is Keon Hayat, and I'm the Education Manager here at Movember, and I wanted to create this video to give a special shout out to you guys' amazing Mental Health Matters campaign. I know some of you guys out there, probably honestly most of you guys, can't grow out the whiskers on the upper lip yet, but that didn't stop you from figuring out how to participate and really going above and beyond to help change the face of men's health. With your guys' campaign, I heard you guys did amazing things like sell 143 different pieces of merch, have 81 different supporters across the US and Canada, and raise over $3,000 all as a part of this campaign. It's truly remarkable the impact that you guys were able to make. I know it must have been a huge team effort, but I really want to take this time also to give a shout out to two of you guys' amazing leads in Ryan Brown and River Peatman, who really helped bring this campaign to life. So big shout out to you guys. I want each and every one of you guys out there to know that the funds that you guys helped raise are going towards investing into things like biomedical research, going in towards community-based initiatives, and then finally going towards our larger awareness campaign that's really focused on helping men live happier and healthier lives. We truly appreciate everything that you guys did in order to make this campaign really come to life and being executed so well. And I want to really welcome each and every one of you guys into the Movember community. I truly hope that you guys, though, really take the lessons that you guys learned here and apply them into your daily lives by doing things like checking in on your friends and family and always letting them know that you're there to support them. Once again, thank you guys so much for helping us change the face of men's health, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next year.
Isn't it awesome to see youth leaders take an idea and turn it into something awesome? How about another round of applause for all of our Congress leaders? It is now my privilege to introduce leaders of several other Masonic bodies who are great supporters of the DeMolay movement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David A. Korb, Grand Monarch of Grotto International. And I invite David to the podium for some brief remarks.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to be here this evening and this weekend with you. And first thing I want to do is introduce my lady, Kelly, so I do not have to buy her a dress. And if I could get the Grand Master to come up here for. On behalf of Lady Kelly and myself, I would like to present this check from the Grottos International to DeMolay for $1,000.
Wow, thank you so much. We really appreciate this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brother Monty Glover, Grand Master of the General Grand Council of the Cryptic Masons International, as he comes to the podium to make his remarks this evening. Perhaps we'll skip that one for now. Anybody named Monty at all? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sir Knight Larry Tucker, Grand Recorder, Knights Templar of the United States of America. Awesome. Convention Planning Committee, I'm going to have the other distinguished guests read the script. Oh, you're back there? Is Larry here? Well, Larry, come on up, brother. Well, I tell you what, you can stay there, Larry. I'd like to take a few moments just to recognize, excuse me, the support that the Knights Templar Education Foundation has given in providing countless scholarships, and also for this year's winner of the International DeMolay of the Year. Larry, on behalf of DeMolay International, we thank you and your organization for your continued support of this program. Ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday of this weekend, we will be also announcing the winners of the International Representative DeMolay Competition, which is made possible by our brothers of the Supreme Council of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry for the Southern Jurisdiction of the United States of America. And yes, that is the longest Masonic organization name in the history of all Masonic organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's my pleasure to present to you and through you for just a few brief words Sovereign Grand Commander of the Southern Jurisdiction and a good personal friend of mine, Dad Jim Cole.
Thank you. Thank you. Grand Master, most worshipful Sir, distinguished guests, brethren, all and especially the ladies, good evening. On behalf of the 110,000 Scottish Rite Masons spread out across 220 valleys from South Korea through the western states, the southern states, all the U.S. territories, and the NATO bases, I bring you greetings and a promise of our undying and continued support. I also like to point out that this is being live streamed by, I've got a couple of staff members in here, Matt Bowers, Maynard Edwards. They are working in support of DeMolay. However, since it is being live streamed, I want to sort of get ahead. We heard about not needing to buy a dress. I would like, through the internet, to introduce to you my lady, Mary Ann Cole, so that the next time I forget her, I'm one up. So you see, I'm a CPA by trade, so I got one in the debit column there, and that will be offset on the credit column when I do forget, which will probably be the very next opportunity I have. I want to speak to all the brethren in the room. I want to tell you, DeMolay has meant a great deal to me. I am not a senior DeMolay. I had no Masonic background, as you've heard from a couple of people before. But my wife and I did serve on a chapter advisory committee to start up a chapter. One could be a DeMolay who went to Keyman, who's it made a real difference in his life. I want to leave you with a thought. Now, this is like with you, it's probably part of your body right now. Mine is off because I kept receiving text messages and phone calls up here, so I just turned it completely off. But I want you to think just for a second about this thing. You know, it's not really been around all that long, but relative to most of you in the room, it's been part of your life since you were born. It seems to be part of all of our lives, and it's always there. But I want you to think about that connection that you have with it. Is anybody more than 3 feet away from a cell phone right now? Probably. Oh, you are. Congratulations to you. Give that man a t-shirt. But here's the thing. I want you to think about how close you keep this. Everyone in here who is a member of this fraternal family, at some point in your past, assumed a position at an altar and took upon yourselves obligations, responsibilities, and duties which bind you to every member of this family and which charge you to take those duties and responsibilities and generous principles further outside into that world that certainly today needs it. And my message to you is, remember what you've promised. Keep those promises and those responsibilities closer than you keep this cell phone. And if you do, the same supreme architect that you made those obligations to will, at the end of your journey, when you no longer have need of such devices, say to you, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." God bless you in your journey. Thank you.
Unfortunately, the Imperial Potentate Ed Stoltz cannot be present with us tonight, but he sent along Brother Mark Hartz, the Imperial Oriental Guide, to represent him, and we proudly invite him to our podium to bring a few brief remarks on behalf of the Imperial Shrine.
Good evening. Protocol having been established, which is the most famous phrase in Shrindom, so you don't have to remember everybody, but you do always, as Arts, my lovely wife, who has a longer Masonic heritage, pleasure to come and speak at this investment seminar. You laugh. But I see here the traders, the world's most valuable commodity. If you have a pound of gold today, tomorrow you'll have a pound of gold. If you have an acre of land today, tomorrow you'll have an acre of land. Today, none of you knows how much time you have, and tomorrow you will have less. And you have decided to take the most valuable commodity that you have and invest it. We adults invested in the young men, and you young men are investing it not just in the future of yourselves, but truly the future of this world. Each and every one of you has the opportunity to do what Dad Land did, to be an influencer in young men's lives. We at Shriners have the unique opportunity that we get to kind of be a little broker in the deal. This year, Shriners had the honor to host the first ever Masonic Youth Summit. And we invited Job's Daughters and DeMolay and Rainbow Girls. And we had representatives from the northern and southern jurisdictions of the Scottish Rite, the Conference of Grand Masters, Masonic Renewal, Eastern Star, York Rite. They all came together at Shrine headquarters with one purpose. How do we help you be better? How do we help you solve your problems? How do we help you grow and make the world a better place? Because that's what each and every one of you has the potential to do. God bless all of you, and God bless DeMolay.
Now it's my pleasure to present and introduce Brother and Dad Walt Wheeler, Sovereign Grand Commander of the Scottish Rite Northern Masonic Jurisdiction and an active member of our Supreme Council, to the podium for his brief remarks.
Good evening, all y'all. I stole that from Jim. It's wonderful to be here. I'm honored to be representing the ancient accepted Scottish Rite of the Northern Masonic jurisdiction at this event. I frequently reflect back upon my time in DeMolay, and I've been a member of this fraternal organization for 54 years. I know what you're thinking. He looks way too young to have been a member for 54 years. Right? That's what you guys were thinking.
Every day.
Yeah. Thank you. But I reflect back upon my time in DeMolay with fondness. I say often that DeMolay changed my life, and I sincerely mean that. DeMolay was so important to me growing up. It was so important to me as an adult. And when I reflect back upon my time in this order, I just have so much thankfulness that I had the opportunity. I made friends that I am still friends with today. The DeMolay advisors in this room, thank you for what you do. When I think about my time in DeMolay, I think of the advisors, the men that guided me, the men that helped me. And two in particular had such an impact on my life. And you can do that for somebody else. You can change one of these young men's life. And that's the most important thing that you'll ever do in your life. So thank you for your service. Young men of DeMolay, I hope that when you look back 50 years from now, you will have the same fondness for this fraternity that I do. The Northern Masonic jurisdiction has been a supporter of DeMolay for a long time. And many, many years ago, Dad George Newberry, a past Sovereign Grand Commander of our Supreme Council, helped form the DeMolay Congress. And we have been a financial supporter to the Congress ever since. And if River and Ryan would step up, on behalf of our Supreme Council, I would like to make this donation to the International DeMolay Congress. And thank you guys for everything that you've done this year. You guys have been great. Thank you. And good luck in the future. Thank you. Say it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our introduction of distinguished guests. At this time, if Brother John Wendell Haney is in the room to provide... Wow. He's not going to come up on stage anymore now that that's on the screen.
Can we tell everyone that he was 20 or 37 Can you make sure he knows it was 20 years ago?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 37th International Congress Secretary of the DeMolay International Congress,
And Grand Cross.
Dad John Wendell Haney.
Dad Kitzmerler, I won't say anything bad because I was told to respect my elders, so. Thanks. All right, welcome to session. Just some housekeeping things as we get ready. Can we go to our next slides fast, please? Thank you. Meetings, we'll have executive set. Florida next year, great. Regional meetings, they were updated on the schedule. Stop. I'm going to put the projector on freeze. But those are the meetings. If you go on session.demolay.org, the schedule is there, and those are your meetings. After we're done here, we'll go into executive session, so actives only, please stay in here. Delegates, I think they told you, but make sure you go right back to your room. You have some more business to take care of as well. If you guys need anything, please see myself, a member of our team. We're happy to help this weekend, and looking forward to a great session. Thank you. It's never too late to get fired.
If you're not having fun, why are you doing it at all, right? Get off the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for joining us for our opening ceremonies, at least most of it. We hope you enjoyed the parts you were supposed to enjoy. But at this time, before we conclude tonight's festivities, I'd like to call to the podium for one final time our International Grand Master, Dad Terry Peters.
Before we close out the evening, I do have one thing that I'd like to do, and that is that, you know, one of the best parts of being a Grand Master is giving out honors and awards to those that deserve those things. And I do have the latitude to do that. And so if I could get James Plumenden to join me, I have a little something here for you. James is, he's been an active DeMolay. He actually went to our leadership camp when he was an active DeMolay. And I think it's appropriate, since he's doing all the hard lifting in Canada, to award him his honorary Collar of the Supreme Council.
Thank you very much.
Don't go. You're pretty blinged out now.
I'm pretty binged up, yeah. All right, all right. Grandmaster, thank you very much. I did not expect that today, and that comes as a surprise. I did not expect to be speaking, but I wanted to say thank you for having me today. I have a privilege of working with some amazing young men and some amazing men and women that help them every day. And it is a pleasure to work with all of you and see you grow. People that know me the most know that these are not the things that I'm most focused with, so much so that I've doubled up here today. There you go.
Make fun of you forever.
But we have an opportunity to impress upon young men things that most don't. We have an opportunity to build a relationship of trust with these young men in a way that we don't in any other organization. It's so precious, and I hope that you all honor that trust and do the best you can to help them in any way you can. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Brethren and ladies, this concludes our ceremonial opening. Tomorrow, the memorial service starts at 8 a.m. in the room, followed out by our ISC session at 9 a.m. The Foundation Trustees meeting will take place in the room Ocatello B. Got to get brighter, heavier glasses here, I guess, at 8 a.m. We will now recess while the Congress delegates move to the room ABC to begin their business session. And I would like to thank all of you for attending tonight's opening session. Your participation is greatly appreciated. At this time, I would ask that all attendees, except Class 1 and 2, please leave the room. Class 1 and 2, please remain. We will be starting our executive session. Well, it says 8:30, but we're pretty early tonight, so let's give it about 15 minutes and we'll start at 8:15, okay? Thank you all.